What's up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the Nice Itch Hedgehog here with our VBL Week 8 Team Builder, our second to last week of VBL. You guys are excited. If you haven't been already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the Phil Shocker crew today because you feel we're the king of the crew. But with that being said, let's get into this matchup here. So we are going against the I don't remember. It's morning. I get my days. But yeah, this is a very interesting match to say the least, just because of the fact that, ooh, excuse me, that in this match it's very kind of unique as I have to face Hail again. This time with Sand Slash. I'm upset, but it is what it is. But we are going against another Hail team, and actually, this team kind of just straight up beats my team. There, I have no way around it. I only have like 7 Mons that are good this battle. Legit. I am not even kidding you guys. I actually felt like there's only 6 Mons to bring this game. I am not kidding. I only thought there were 6 Mons to bring this game. And that is really not good when I only have 6. I mean, if I can somehow surprise him with the 6 I have, that would be nice. But still, like, oh, God. This is gonna suck so much, but it is what it is. But my opponent's team has got the team of Aurora, Salon Sand Slash, Rotom Heat, Scrafty, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Cobalion, Gardevoir, Landorus T, and Latios. As for what I expect him to bring, I don't expect him to bring Latios really. Latios is only going to be good as a default user if he really wanted to, but he has better options for that. Landorus could potentially show up as well, but with me having a little bit of Halo team of myself here with Mulch, with Frost and Abomasnow, plus having Jirachi that can scarf it and outspeed it, I don't expect him to really go that route either. Gardevoir could be something that he could potentially want to bring versus us, but the problem with Gardevoir being it would have to be Choice Scarfed in order to, excuse me, to do anything against us. So definitely something on that note right there. But still could be something we can, try to take advantage of and go from there. Cobalion could be something if he doesn't want to bring Scrafty, but in my opinion, he needs to bring Scrafty. Otherwise, Jirachi will beat this team with his store power set, essentially. So he has to bring Jirachi. He has to bring Scrafty. If he does not bring Scrafty, he literally just chokes away this game 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that's the team right there, though. For the team I expected, 100% he's bringing that Hail Core. That Hail Core destroys me. 100% it does. It's just super annoying to have to face. I definitely think rid of Heat Cubs. Rotom Heat's a really good mon to go be a defensive option for him with Defog in this matchup. I definitely think Scrafty comes. As for what Scrafty I expect, whether it's gonna in a way utility Scrafty or anything like that, I don't know. I don't expect Shed Skin Scrafty. I do expect Intimidate Scrafty because Intimidate Scrafty actually helps his team out a little bit more. If he is Shed Skin, that's gonna be very interesting. Unless he's gonna be a set like Bulk Up or Dragon Dance, if that's gonna be the case. Vaporeon, I definitely think comes. Vaporeon can just wall so much of my team that it's kind of ridiculous. So it's definitely something I have to keep note right there. Excuse me. Oh my god. And I definitely think he's bringing Jolteon. Jolteon with Shuckleberry, Weather Ball pretty much beats Garchomp. Unless I get a Swords Dance up, it cannot live the Earthquake. So definitely going to be something I have to keep in mind with that. So that's the team I expect him to bring. So let's go and break down the team we are bringing this week. We're first off bringing off Shark here, my Garchomp, who we've been having a little bit of a tough season with, but have still been enjoying using him. I just wish there were potentials I could have had him do more work for us, obviously. But we're bringing Garchomp here with Yachiberry, of course, with Swords Dance, Earthquake, Flamethrower, and Stone Edge. Flamethrower there is just there for the Sand Slash. But then again, after now realizing this, Earthquake at +2 should basically knock it out. So maybe I'll put Scale Slash on here. I don't know. It just really depends on matchup, and I'll think about it at least as well. But overall, this could be something I shade out for Scale Shot. But I would wait to use Scale Shot before anything else. but we'll talk about that later. But with 88 in HP, max attack, and enough speed to outspeed his Landorus, this is the fastest thing I can outspeed. Now, the reason why I'm running this with the Yachi Berries is more than likely his Ice types will switch in on this thing. Well, not really switch in, but he might have to sack something to me. And in case his team is carrying ice coverage, I could potentially set up for free against his team. Like, that's the one thing I'm having with Yachi Berry here. With Yachi Berry, I can live a hit from the Scrafty. If it's I carrying the Ice Punch, I go for SD, and then I can go for Scale Shot, SD go Earthquake, and then once he clicks Ice Punch and tries to kill me, I live, and then I can go Scale Shot, outspeed the rest of his team, and basically win the game, essentially. But I only win the game if I land a Stone Edge, because even if it's a max physically defensive Rotom with max attack and Stone Edge, it has to be Stone Edge. It does 98 to 110 or 20 or something like that. So basically, if we get the max low roll, Rotom lives. But if Hail's up, Rotom dies regardless. So Rotom is a little bit of a problem versus our team this week because it handles really good three members of my team, even though one of my members can handle it as well under situations. But still is an annoying mon nonetheless. Up next, we're bringing Jirachi this week, which is, I don't know why I didn't do its nickname. Which, this is by far one of my favorite nicknames I've ever named a Pokemon because it's after a charity, of course. Because the Make-A-Wish Foundation and everything like that, just trying to capture the dreams of people around the world, which I really think is really an amazing thing to see. The Jirachi this week was very interesting, nonetheless. Jirachi's very unique this matchup. I am bringing Cosmic Power, Dazzling Gleam, or Spear and Wish. Now, I could have potentially had brought a third move, being something like Zen Headbutt, and I'm kind of debating on bringing Zen Headbutt, or I guess Psychic in this case, is I'm pretty much going special. But the problem I had with that was just the fact. Well, I guess having Psychic's not too terrible in this matchup. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm so tired. But what I like about having Wish is that even if I switch out my stats and go into something that can wall something on his team, it's very much important that I can kind of just keep it around, which is really, really good. So, but overall, this Jirachi walls his Hail Core. It walls Scrafty, which is very, really good. And Jirachi is 7-1 for us right now, and I feel really proud how I've been using Jirachi, which is really good. Because Jirachi, I think at first was a mon I kind of almost ran into a Scarf every single week, but after the new tools and stuff, and actually kind of being looking at the stats, I've really been going. It's like how I did in Fernie and Mew during certain seasons of leagues and stuff like that. I really felt like once I use these Pokemon more and more, I get into kind of the idea of what I want to run with them. But enough dragging that out. We have got Cosmic Power, like I said. Cosmic Power is actually pretty good because it handles the steam both on the physical and special side. And you can look at our investments. We've got really good investments this week. We're running 216 in HP, 148 in the defense, 8 special attack, 116 in special defense, and 20 speed. Now, 20 speed is actually pretty crucial because it outspeeds max speed Scrafty and it outspeeds max speed Auroras, which is really important to note right there. I could have made this thing faster than max speed Sandslash, but honestly, Sandslash, only way it hits me is with Drill Run or Shadow Call or Knockoff, and I don't kind of care because I can easily kill it in one hit. The goal is to hopefully get at least one or two Cosmic Powers up, and if I only get one off as Crafty comes in, I click Dazzling Gleam right away. Now, there's a good chance that Dazzling Gleam will not straight up knock Scrafty. It will probably do a nice, good chunk to Scrafty, but if Scrafty's Assault Vested, it's probably most likely going to be a near impossible 2-hit KO, but if not, guaranteed 3-hit KO. But if it's not Assault Vest Scrafty, it's either going to be a 2-hit KO, or depending on his investments, it could be a straight up knockout. And looking at his team, I could definitely see him run something like more of a physically defensive, if not a little bit of a mixed defensive Scrafty. So more likely we could two-shot. Because again, we can always make the prediction play of Dazzling Gleaming, and then going for another Dazzling Gleam, or going for a Cosmic Power, depending on what he wanted to do, obviously. So, honestly, Jirachi could potentially win us the game right here with this set, so definitely something to keep note of that. I'm thinking maybe I should put Store Power on here, but if I lose my leftovers, then it's a little annoying, and I don't rely on Wish, so definitely something I have to keep right there. I know it's a little risky to bring this as well, looking at his team, But I honestly think Salazzle has a really good matchup here. Some of the things that Salazzle struggles to break is obviously Vaporeon because of how specially defensive it is, and a little bit of Rotom, not exactly, but mostly things like Latios, potentially if it's Scarf Gardevoir if it's there as well. But ultimately, I think that we can actually do some really good stuff with Salazzle this week. Nasty Plot Dual Stab really kind of hits the entirety of his team for super effective neutral damage, which is pretty dang good in my opinion. Now, I was thinking of running the Shuka Berry in case of, Drill Run from Sand Slash. And if anyone's wondering why I'm running Fire Blast over Flamethrower, Fire Blast will be able to hit the Auroras harder than Flamethrower would if it's a max HP Auroras, especially since we're not running Modest. If we were running Modest, then I would be more interested to run Flamethrower. But I need to make sure I'm prepped for the Latios in case it does come, because Latios could potentially come versus us. It's not terrible versus me, but it's something I have to keep in the back of my mind. So definitely something to note right there. But we do have Toxic there to Toxic Sand Slash if it comes in on me. We do have ways of toxicing things on his team, like the Cobalion if it comes against us. It's again just having the option to just toxic something is really really good, and also it's really really good to just bring something like toxic or Will-O-Wisp because it's gonna force him to reveal Heal Bell and either Jolteon or most likely Vaporeon. And if Vaporeon reveals Heal Bell to me, then that's a wasted move slot we don't have to worry about on Vaporeon, which is very important to note right there as well. But dual stab, like I said, will go in. We do have the Charcoal. I might switch this to Shuka. I don't know yet, but it would be really nice to have it in case we want to live a hit from Sand Slash. Actually, we'll calc this live right now. Actually, let me calc this right now. Sand Slash, and usage. Salazzle, Nasty Plot, Shukaberry with how much investment? 56. 56. That still kills me. So yeah, I guess yeah. Oop. Yeah, I guess having charcoal is better than nothing. I could be focus sash, but then there's the hail, so there's that. So yeah, I guess charcoal's our best way. And plus being charcoal, fire boosted hits really hit hard on his team. And that could really do a lot of damage to his team as well. I was thinking about maybe potentially running Life Orb, but Life Orb I think is a little risky in this match, even though we do have the odd number of HP. But up next we're bringing Pharaoh, and this is a very unique Cofferega set. We are bringing max HP, 136 defense, 120 speed def with the calm nature instead of a physically defensive nature. But there's a reason behind that. This is so I can take hits from things like, say, the Vaporeon, so it can't break my sub. This also takes hits from Auroras really nicely. This takes hits from Jolteon, Thunderbolts, and stuff like that if it's not boosted and stuff like that. I can really take hits a lot from his team as well. So with that, it's really important right there. Pretty much being mono body press, he does not have a ghost type, and he does not have a fairy type. Well, he has a fairy type, but his fairy type doesn't want to take shadow balls, but I don't carry that. But overall, most of his team really can't stop ghost coverage, which is have been really exploiting a lot lately, which I think is definitely something that I think a lot of people need to learn is that when you face teams that have got exploit weaknesses, you take advantage of them. And that's what I'm going to be doing hopefully with this game right here, as he really does have a really good switches to fighting type hits besides Latios, Landorus, and the what's its name. So when they don't see a fighting type on my team like I do, they're probably not going to prep for a fighting type really to come to this game. So that's where I'm going to catch him off guard and have him bring none of those resistance against me, which is going to be really important to know right there as well. I am bringing the Toxic Spikes because he does not have a grounded poison type on his team. And yes, I do know it's risky to bring Spikes, especially when he could potentially just defog away with Rotom. But I still think having the option to bring Toxic Spikes this matchup is really, really, really good because it can poison so many good things on his team that could start getting whittled down, which is very important to know. I do take the risk if Jolteon is potentially Quick Feet, but if Jolteon is Quick Feet, it at least gets Toxic instead of the Burn, which is better. Again, Iron Defense because it's really, really good in body pressing. That's why we went with more Spadef bulk in this matchup, and that's why our Spadef is a little bit more invested. But I still want high defenses because again, there's a majority of his team that is more physically defensive than especially offense, physically offensive than especially offensive. Also, making his debut is Christmas, my Obama Snow, and this is a very interesting Obama Snow nonetheless. We are not bringing snow warning. We're bringing soundproof. Now, soundproof, I think, has zero options in this match. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. The only thing that soundproof would be really good is in case Jolteon has hyper voice, and that's about it. But most times, I know Jolteon will probably always click Shadow Ball against me. But the reason why I have soundproof on here is just because, if Gardevoir is in there, this hit hardcore wall Gardevoir if it's carrying the hyper voice, even though it's not pixelate boosted. Gardevoir could still have it to infiltrate through subs, which is really important to know right there. But I mean, I'm hyping this thing up. I don't know why, but I looked at Obama and Obama doesn't have that terrible of a matchup. It's rough, but in my opinion, it's not as rough as I think a lot of people see it as. But I think Obama can actually put in a lot of great work this game. We are running Grassy Glide, Rock Tomb, Ice Shard, and Brick Break. Rock Tomb is really good because if it is physically defensive Rotom, I can get right at the bat. And plus, I get to lower its speed, which is very important to know right there as well. And then it does force the Rotom to either click to overheat on me, or it does get to get a free Volt Switch, depending on switch-ins and stuff like that. But again, it's one of those things where I think Rotom gets pressured then a little bit with having that -1 speed because then he's got to think, okay, do I Volt Switch here or do I Raw Overheat here? But I like the option of having Rock Tomb as well because it's just speed control in this game, which is really, really, really good. I do have Ice Shard for more speed control as well to be able to kind of just prioritize potentially a kill or something like that. And Ice Shard is just something so that way I can hit the Landorus if Landorus does come. And I think just having priority in general is going to be really good. I do have Brick Break there. That Brick Break is super clutch as it will beat Aurora's and Sand Slash. And it even hits the Scrafty for some super effective damage as well. Grassy Glide is there for mostly the Vaporeon and Jolteon. And he can also hit the Aurora's, but that's why we Brick Break a little bit better because we're going to get rid of that. And plus, if he tries to set up a Royal Veil, this thing stops it from setting up a Royal, which is really, really good in that type of situation. So, yeah. We are running Max Max because it does outspeed Scrafty and Aurora's, which is really important to know right there. And then we decided just to put the 4 in HP. And last but not least, we're bringing Hunter here with Subtoxic, Leech Slide Liquidation, basically Subtoxic Dual Stab. 212 in HP, 44 attack, 140 in defense, 112 in special defense with Careful Nature. Bringing a little bit more of a physically invested but Spadef boosted set this week, just because of the fact I do want to be able to wall things, hopefully, on his team, but most likely not. We are bringing more physically invested because physically invested is better against things like Scrafty. It's really good against things like potentially the Sand Slash as well. I believe a Rock Slide at neutral has a good chance to break my sub with this investment. It may not, depending, but he's definitely forced to bring Rock Slide. He can bring Dual Stab against my team, but here's the problem with that. If he brings Dual Stab, he has nothing really to hit my Salazzle, because here's the thing with Dual Stab. Salazzle resists both of his Dual Stab, and I can live one hit, whether it's boosted or not. And then there's the same thing with having Jirachi. Jirachi resists Dual Stab, and then you look at my Araquanid, which resists Dual Stab. So he's forced to have to run Rock Slide this matchup. So now it just comes down to whether he thinks he runs Icicle Crash or Iron Head this matchup. Because then he has to go Earthquake. Unless he's going 4 attacks with just a max speed nature of Adamant or Jolly. Which, if that's the case, that helps us out a little bit. Because then he can't boost his attack, which makes Sandslash not as scary as it originally would have been if it was boosted, which is very important to know right there. But with this Araquanid, it's basically able to hopefully wall Vaporeon. I should probably be faster, but I'm not. I'll double check and see if I can be faster than Vaporeon. Because if it's defensive, Vaporeon's not running any speed, and I actually know I think Vaporeon has base 60 speed. Let me look right here. 65, so it hits 166, and we hit. That's a lot of speed to put in. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So we're going to take a risk here and hopefully get a sub off on certain things. But yeah, that's going to be the team, guys. Again, if we lose, it's most likely we're going to lose this game. But, if we're going to lose this game, I'm going to at least lose knowing I tried. and just do the best I can. Again, there's a chance we can make it with a 4-5 record. It's just gonna depend how our competition does. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be feeling with the king of the group. And until next time, guys, I'm Phil Shocker, the United States Hedgehog. I will see you guys next time. Peace.